Now, this Coleman 17B might look like your average Coleman 17B, but there's something special about it. Let's look into it. This Coleman 17B we bought about a week ago, and as you can see, we've done some modifications. Currently, right now, it is completely off-grid, depending on your definition. I mean, with our water tank, we are off-grid, but we do fill it up from my buddy's house right here. And this unit is what is going to take us to Maine. Well, we're going to take it to Maine, and it's what we're going to stay in while we're in Maine. We'll talk a little bit about it, and you can kind of get an idea of how we took just an average 17B Coleman and turned it into what will be a completely off-grid camper. I mean, technically right now, I guess in my definition it's off-grid. We're not hooked up to power. We fill our water tank up here, but or keep water going if we're staying here for a long term. But this is what we will be staying in Maine. We're going to take it all the way up there with us. Here we have 4 400-watt Philadelphia solar panels, wired in series. They are on a mount that I have kind of finagled. I made it work. They originally I made the mount for 2, but I couldn't get enough voltage for the inverter to charge the batteries, so I made the mount for 2 work for 4. So we have 4 Philadelphia 400-watt solar panels with the wires coming in to under here, and that's where things get kind of interesting. So let's take a look. You can see I have an electrical box here that everything's wired into, where there's wires coming out. I have our 30 amp RV plug coming out here, and I have our PV wires coming out. Now the reason why I have it done like this is so that when we go to travel, we can undo these MC4 connectors, undo our 30 amp plug, put it back in here, put the screws on, and we can take this thing all the way up to Maine. Now, in here, I still have some cleaning up to do, but for the most part, it's done. We have our 2 batteries, EG4LL batteries. We have our PV wires coming in, or coming into the camper from the solar. We have our 30 amp extension cord that I have wired into the inverter. If we ever need to, I have my AC plug to charge the batteries with, if I need to charge it with a generator or charge it here at my buddy's house. And the batteries we have mounted with foam between them, and then we have a strap mounted so they don't bounce, and I have them mounted to these studs here. But inside is the inverter, and you can access the batteries from inside as well. So we'll hop in there, take a look. Inside of 17B is not very big, as you can see, but I think we're going to be able to make it work. We have an AC, we have a furnace. This is a 25 model, so it has a propane furnace, and an on-demand hot water heater. There's no oven, but it is what it is. But right here it gets interesting. So this is our EG4 3000 watt inverter. It is currently bringing in, we're in the later part of the day right now, it's bringing in 975 watts from the solar array. We have ran this all night. It's actually been running for about a week now since I got it all hooked up and wired in, and it's been consistently pulling about 100 watts no matter what we do. Right now it's 50, so it's pulling 50 watts. That's pretty average. If we're here, it's about a consistent, especially if the furnace is running, it's about a consistent 100 watts is what it's pulling. So it's not terrible. We got it down. I just got the solar hooked up yesterday, and we got the batteries all the way down to like 27%. And then today we've made it up. I want to say they're at like 80% right now. And that was just from this morning, 27% to almost 80. And we're pretty late in the day, and we only have 1,000 watts coming in now, which isn't terrible. But we're in Texas, so lots of sun. Once we get to Maine, things may change a little bit, but here in Texas we have lots of sun. I do have a disconnect for the solar coming in, just so if I ever need to work on in here, I can shut that off. But everything in here is like, it's super easy. It's kind of stupid proof, honestly. I don't know enough about it to do an install video, and show you how to do it. I know enough about it for me to do it and it work. So I'm not going to show you how I did it, or how to do it. I'll just kind of show you how I did it. We have, this is just a 30, my 30 amp plug-in is just a 15-foot 30 amp extension cord that I've cut the end off of and wired it into the inverter. That way, yeah, I mean, it's probably not the best thing, but considering that it's going over here to the breakers that the camper has in it, I mean, it is what it is. I think it'll be fine. The battery cables just go in, like you've seen, go outside, and then they come up into under the bed, and I'll show you that here in a minute. But everything in this, it's kind of stupid proof. If you're looking for something to maybe make, take your camper to off-grid, or kind of take it to another level, because these campers are solar ready, but not really. I mean, this thing will run whatever you want in this camper, with the 2 batteries that we have. They say this one's solar ready. Like all the outlets have, inverted outlet on them, because they have mounts on the roof for solar panels, but all that's doing is charging the 12-volt batteries. But this right here is taking the whole thing, just like you're connected to shore power. But yeah, that's it. I mean, you can kind of see it's not very big. It takes up some space, not a whole lot. We like noise when we sleep. It's kind of noisy, but we like that anyway. So it kind of just puts us to sleep. But we'll take a look under the bed. That's where the batteries are. These are our 2 EG4 LL batteries. They are mounted to the studs like I showed you outside. I have this cut open so that air can pass through and they don't get too cold. It was down in the 30s and it stayed about 55, 60 degrees in this compartment, with our heater running out here. So I think it's going to be pretty good. I don't think I'm going to have an issue with them getting too cold. If I do, I may just put a heated blanket in here or something. I don't know, but I think it's going to be fine. Because by the time we make it to Maine with this, we're going to be getting there in the spring. So it's gonna, it shouldn't be freezing. I'm sure we'll have some days where it gets freezing until we get middle of the summer, but we'll get there early spring, so I think we'll be okay. But yeah, I mean, I just have them wired in series like this, and I mean, it's working great. I mean, it's been running for a week like this. I just got the solar hooked up today, or last night actually, and I've had them running all day. And the batteries are, I want to say 80 something, yeah, 82%. and we're still bringing in 1,000 watts of solar, and we're really late in the day. But the inverter, everything comes out of it and comes down into this corner down here that's kind of weather sealed. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. It's about the simplest off-grid setup I could make in this thing, so that we can carry it all the way up there with us, because it's about 2,000 miles. Yeah, that's it. That's how we took just a regular old Coleman 17B, about the cheapest camper we could find, and turned it into what's going to be our off-grid home in Maine until I get done building. I think I've done everything right. If you've seen something in this video that I've screwed up, let me know. Or if you have some questions on how I did something, because yeah, I probably didn't cover it very thoroughly. But I did show you how I did it. If you guys think I messed it up, let me know. And we will be leaving for Maine at the end of May. But for now, we're down here in Texas. So I'm glad we have the AC, because we have about 2 months maybe before it gets hot. But yeah, if you guys want to follow us in our off-grid Coleman 17B all the way to Maine, that'll be in May. But for now, this is it. Totally off-grid. Give me a break. Yeah, we'll see you on the next one.